Come explore the unknown and enter the Chamber of Shadows, a podcast for the dark, haunted, and mysterious. I am your host, Celine, and I am joined by my co host, Andora. Say hi, Andora.
Good evening, Smokey fam.
Ah! We do have things to talk about today.
That's right. We've got a 5 minute.
See?
We've got a five
We've
minute
we've got our 5 minutes. Um, well, okay, because we're not going into depth with this. How's Bigfoot doing up there in Ohio?
Wow, he's everywhere. He is
Apparently so.
everywhere, all over the state. I ran into him at Aldi's. Yeah. And just for the record, Bigfoot actually uses paper bags, not plastic, so you guys should know that.
He cares about our environment.
That's right. That's right.
Well, yeah, let's, dive into what we really wanted to talk about. This man who went with the dolphins to an underground city?
For 3 days. 3 days he says he was under there, but only 40 feet under there. That's crazy to me. He was kidnapped and held 40 feet under the water for 3 days.
This can't be possible, right?
Well, they
Like,
they found some seawater and some underwater material. I'm guessing, like, I don't know. I'm guessing, like, plant material maybe? I'm not sure.
but
In
could
his
it be that he
lungs
was yeah, but could it be that he was stranded and, like, just was hallucinating?
under the water?
Well, I mean, if you're stranded out in the middle of the ocean, you're gonna get water and stuff in your lungs.
I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Just
I'm not sure. I think it stinks a little bit of some kind of conspiracy. So he says that they kept him for 3 days and they had him working on cities,
yeah.
towns, and condos. And when they
Atlantis? Is that you?
um, well, when they found him, he was in the sand scribbling, like,
Yes.
blueprints and schematics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds crazy, right? Except that's what he does for a living. So, I'm wondering, because it's aeronautics and it makes me wonder if they did something to him and then planted the dolphin story in his head.
Okay. Okay.
I just
I'm just
wonder.
trying to think, like, logistically, like, is it possible that I don't even know how he got out there.
Dude, so he was swimming, he said, and, this dolphin with the name by the name of Gerald, he was in charge, and he was like, "You're coming with us." And he made a little air bubble, a self-contained air bubble around his head so he could work for 3 days.
Acid.
Indeed it does.
That's getting left in, just so you know.
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe his actual job is the reason why he's telling this crazy story. And they said they'd be back for phase 2. They're coming back to get
What?
him for phase 2. Yeah,
What do you mean phase 2?
it's
Oh,
yeah,
like, the dolphins are coming to get him.
they're coming back to get him. I don't know how that's gonna happen if he doesn't go swimming.
Honestly, you know what it's giving? If we think about it to a different just because this is what just hit me. You know how when children tell stories, when, like, let's say they're involved in a true crime incident and they tell this story of what was it? There was a kid or a couple kids who described it was some kind of like m it was a man with his eyes popped out or something like that. They're like, "No, he looks this specific way." and when they actually found the guy, he wore, like, certain glasses, so it
Oh,
made
like they were
him
thick,
look
so
a
they
certain
made
way.
his eyes look big.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever it was, I don't even remember if it was specifically the eyes, but it was something like that where kids' brains just comprehend things differently, but when you actually look at what it is, you're like, "Oh, that actually kind of makes sense."
Yeah. Yes.
So, like, I guess that's what this makes me think about is maybe he is describing something, but the way he's describing it, we're not comprehending it the same way that he's trying to get it across.
Right.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, it does because, I mean, clearly he does aeronautics and things. His brain doesn't work the way most people's brains work.
I don't even know what that word means, aside from arrow means air or something like that, right? Space,
Yeah,
arrow,
it's like all the
airplane?
mechanical stuff that you need to do big space things and
Yeah,
underwater things and yeah.
I'm not the one to solve this puzzle.
Yeah, it's like an engineer on steroids, I think. Yeah, like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But they didn't release his name. What else did I want to make sure I mentioned? I don't know. Also, if you're making towns and cities and condos, why were you only gone 3 days?
Well, was time different?
I think time was different because I think he might have worked on something and found something out, and now
Yeah.
they're like,
He got that
"You're getting
lobotomy.
sleepy. You were swimming with dolphins for 3 days." Yeah, I think
He got that lobotomy. They're like, "We'll fix this for you, don't worry about it." Oh
yeah,
my
I'm
god.
not sure. I feel bad for him though because, everybody's, like, just making fun of him and it's like a big joke, but this is him dealing with what happened to him in his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very real. Listen, I believe he was doing something. Something happened.
Yeah, don't release his name because I am going to find him and get him on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
So, don't don't
Hell
release his
yeah.
name. Don't release his name. Yeah.
Uh, well, with that, speaking of lobotomies, is lobotomy part of the location we're talking about today?
Nope. No,
Oh, okay.
that's
Okay.
crazy.
That takes a couple things off the table for me, 'cause you haven't
Okay.
told me what word well, you sent me pictures. You sent me pictures, like, what, 30 minutes ago before all my technical issues, and I haven't looked because I want raw reaction of what this location is you're about to tell me. We've talked about a lot that we wanna go to.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some hints.
Okay.
Some movies were filmed there.
Ohio State
Um,
Reformatory?
that's it! You did it! Yeah, that's
I'm a
it. That's what we're doing
professional.
today.
I'm too good. Immediately went to Shawshank Redemption.
Well, that wasn't the only movie that
Immediately.
was filmed there. That was just the most famous movie. That was in 1994, but in 1989, before Shawshank, Tango and Cash, parts of that were filmed there, and that was when they were still using the reformatory. They filmed there. So, yeah. Yep, and then, Air Force One in '97, but it just used that prison as a Russian prison for, the bad guys in Harrison Ford's movie. So, yeah, yeah.
Well, we have both been to Ohio State Reformatory.
Oh, I wasn't sure that you had, I couldn't remember.
I've been twice, only because the first time I went through their haunted thing that they take you on during
Mhm,
Halloween,
mhm, it's really
because
fun.
it is really fun, but remember, that's the only experience that I had there, and it was so, like, minute, which w we'll talk about. I'll tell it when we get to the I
Yeah.
assume we're talking about the haunted stuff later, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so I'll touch on that there, but the only other time I went was for my birthday that one time, which I will not get into, but what I will say is What I will say is that they had way too many people trying to do the paranormal stuff that night. Like, it was just too much. You couldn't get authentic information.
Right.
So,
Everybody's stumbling on
authentic,
top of
yeah.
everybody else. Yeah.
You can hear everybody. You can
Yeah.
be in a total different wing, and because there were so many people, you could hear everybody. And,
Yeah.
of course, you've got your people who don't know what they're doing, so they go into a location and they're yelling.
Because if you're dead, you're also deaf, I
Yeah,
guess.
like
Yeah.
so, yes, I have been there. I don't I don't remember a lot about my birthday visit. We weren't there for very long, so I just honestly no general knowledge about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we can get started.
I love this place. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, me too. I do too, honestly.
Adam Berry's there, or he was just there.
He
He's
was just
going
there,
there, like
yeah, on
okay,
the
yeah,
4th.
did he
Oh,
leave?
no, 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 on the 14th because on the th
Oh, on Saturday. Okay.
yeah, because 'cause isn't that right?
I think
Something's
so.
happening on Friday the 13th too. Anyway, yes. Yeah. Um, the Ohio State Reformatory is the largest castle-type building in Ohio, 5th in the US overall. Over 250,000 square feet of stone wall and steel. Guinness Book of World Records recognized the East Cell Block as the largest freestanding cell block in the world. You certainly remember seeing that. The Eastern Cell Block, the one that the really big one, it's
I'm
all by itself?
honestly, I really, like
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't remember much.
I mean, if that were the only thing on the property, you would still go to look at it because it's
Yeah.
crazy,
I don't remember which
enormous.
areas we even walked through.
I'm sorry about
Like,
that. We'll do it
yeah,
again, though. We'll do it again.
I want to.
Absolutely, why not? So, it was designed by Levi T. Schofield, an Ohio native. OSR was heavily influenced by a blend of Romanesque, Queen Anne, Richardonian, which I never heard of before, and Victorian Gothic styles. The cornerstone was created from a smooth gray granite, but the rest of the bricks were quarried locally from a place called the Devil's Punch Bowl.
Oh, that
It's a
sounds familiar.
yeah, yeah. I lived in Mansfield for a very short time, and I feel like we've driven past that multiple times. During the Civil War in 1861, the grounds where the prison sits today was Camp Mordecai Bartley, a training camp for the Union. Sadly, many men would succumb to a vicious TB outbreak, also dysentery and typhoid, before ever making it to the battlefield. Reports of hauntings on the property date back to later that same year. So they
And what
actually
year was that?
1861. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um 24 years later, November 4th, 1886, the cornerstone of the OSR was placed. There was much celebration that day, for this was going to be the first of its kind, a progressive philosophy program to actually rehabilitate young men who had made poor choices out of desperation. They would be taught a trade, taught to read and write, and taught the love of God. The hope was that this would lead them down a path to being productive members of society. Quite the opposite of a penitentiary, which mainly warehouses criminals, keeping society safe from sharing space with hardened criminals. On September 17th, 1896, a train full of 150 men arrived to their new castle and were put to work immediately digging sewers and building walls around the property. When they were done, OSR would hold 1,800 inmates learning new trades and keeping the entire facility self-sustained. So they raised their own cattle, pigs,
Oh.
they farmed, um, they had a shoe factory. They taught them trades, carpentry, masonry. They taught them, like, it was amazing.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know how successful it was, to them, but oh my gosh, like, how amazing, how
Yeah.
amazing. The reformatory had its own cemetery, and that remains today. Buried there are more than 200 inmates that died all manners of death, never being claimed by their family. OSR was a well oiled machine with amazing results, less than 5% recidivism after 10 years, nationwide recognition for the first 50 years.
You're throwing
So,
big words at me.
so recidivism is when you return to your life of crime. So less than
Oh,
5% of the
wow.
young men that came out of there, within 10 years had returned back to their life of crime, which usually I think now they just say they give them a year, like, within the year, they'll be back to it because their reputation precedes them when people do a background check and they find out you're a felon. "You ain't washing
Yeah.
dishes here, sorry about it."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I it stinks, it's terrible, but that's the way it is, and unfortunately, that's the way it's probably always going to be.
Right.
Um, oh, unfortunately, over the years, philosophies changed. Then came the Depression. By 1933, overcrowding had become an issue. Prison death by disease and violence became so prevalent that in 1978, the Council for Human Dignity sued OSR, stating that inmates' constitutional rights were being violated. More than 2,200 inmates were being inhumanely housed in a facility designed for 1,800, including the staff. So more like 1,500. So they had 2,200 inmates plus the staff in a
Yeah.
facility, that was designed to hold 1,500 inmates.
Yeah.
Um, OSR was no longer meeting the modern standards for correctional facilities. A decree in which prison officials would improve conditions while simultaneously preparing to close each cell block by December 1986 was put in place. In
Damn.
1987, the Mansfield Correctional Institute, otherwise known as Mancy, was opened. In 1990, the last staff and inmates were moved to the new facility. OSR was put on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1987 after 94 years of operation and housing about 160,000 men and boys. So, I mean, that's quite a history of success followed by abysmal failure.
That's insane.
Mhm, mhm. Agreed.
Which I had heard about there being overcrowding there. Um, but I don't think I knew it was to that extent.
Well, I'm not gonna name him because I didn't ask him, but I have a relative that got nicked very young stealing cars, and he was put in Mansfield. He had to do 2
Oh.
years, and I think he ended up only doing, like, 9 months because he was good and he wanted the hell out. But he said, "I swear that they" I mean, oops.
Ooh,
Not my government name.
oh,
Anyway.
I'll block it. I didn't even realize it until you went, "Oop."
Anyway, he said that there were holes in the walls that were so big that you could actually hand people things between
Oh.
cells, and it was not uncommon for somebody to grab somebody from another cell and hold
Absolutely
them
not.
while somebody else beat the shit out of them. Like, it was
Absolutely not.
yes, yes, 100%, yeah.
Could you, since it was a reformatory and not a penitentiary, could you just leave whenever you wanted? Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but then you just end up in the penitentiary. In the beginning, all of those boys were transferred. Ohio had a penitentiary in
Yeah.
Columbus,
Okay.
and a bunch of those boys were young, and they didn't want them to be influenced by the older, more grizzled guys,
Right.
and they were happy. Yeah. Do you guys want to try this new thing? Hell yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay, so a majority of it was men, right? It wasn't women?
No. There were women
Okay,
on the property working there, and the warden's wife was there, but, because the warden lived there
okay. So a majority of the men that were there were very young then?
in the beginning.
in the beginning.
I think that there was um, I think there was a fire, I believe, or it might have been a
I think
flood,
you're right about that. No,
um,
I thought it was a fire.
in Columbus at the penitentiary, and they moved a bunch of people over there, a bunch of
Yes,
hardened
that's right.
criminals over there, and
Yep.
there was no place to put them, and it was a slippery slope from there, and the old warden
Yeah.
had retired, and they just weren't focused anymore.
Okay.
Um,
I think you were right. I think it was a fire. I don't think it was. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think you're right about it being a fire.
yeah. Yeah, so that was sort of the beginning of the end when those guys had to come over. But the
Yeah.
depression, I think, probably would have caused it anyway because, while whole families are starving to death, maybe, they weren't so worried about whether or not these boys learned how to use a saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the United States,
Yes.
prisons are designed to keep the bad guys away from law-abiding, tax-paying Americans. Unfortunately, there will always exist a particularly wicked type of inmate that will do anything to escape the confines society has placed on them. Sometimes, all they can focus on is payback. In 1948, two such inmates were subject of the largest manhunt at that time in Ohio. Robert Merle Daniels, in for robbery, and John West, convicted of auto theft, not my relative. While incarcerated, these men made a pact to take care of the guards that had mistreated them while they were in. They were released after serving their time and immediately went on a crime spree, robbing gas stations and restaurants, murdering a whole family, a farmer, and a truck driver.
Oh my
APB
god.
instead of just taking their things, they killed them and took their things. Okay.
Like, yeah.
Every law enforcement officer from every branch of Ohio was on the lookout for those who the press had dubbed the Mad Dog Killers. I didn't know that's where that came from either. Mad Dog Killers. I didn't know that was from Ohio.
Yeah, I didn't either.
They eventually ended up in a shootout with police near the state line by West Virginia, where West died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So he offed himself before they could get him, and Daniels was captured and put to death in the electric chair at OSR.
Well, bye.
1926, Philip Orlick, a former inmate, returned to OSR after being freed to free an inmate he had befriended while serving time together. At 8 a.m., Orlick encountered a 72-year-old guard, Urban Wilford, at the guard tower. He shot and killed the guard in cold blood. He escaped, but was caught 2 months later. He too was put to death in the electric chair at OSR. There's so many things I have to ask about this. Why is there a 72-year-old man guarding hardened criminals?
Oh my god.
Oh, Urban, I'm so sorry. R.I.P., buddy. Another escape.
Hopefully hopefully he was at least doing something that he loved. I don't
He had been doing it like his whole life. He was in law enforcement his whole life. Yeah,
man.
yeah. And he didn't even and it wasn't even successful. They just were like, "Okay, off to jail with you. We're gonna fry you
Yeah.
later."
God.
That was not a good plan.
Yeah.
Another escape attempt in 1932 saw the murder of Frank Hanger, 48. Merrill Chandler and Chester Probosky beat him with an iron bar near Solitary. They both also were invited to take a seat in Old Sparky the following year. So they beat the guard to death with a pipe. Okay.
God.
One of the trades taught at OSR was shoemaking. They shipped those shoes to various state agencies and distributors. One clever inmate convinced another inmate to seal him up in one of the shipping crates for escape. When the truck stopped and it had been quiet for a while, the inmate kicked his way out of the crate only to find himself inside the Ohio State Penitentiary in Columbus. They just kept him.
Did they know? Did
Yes.
they know that he was in there?
Yes. Oh, no, they didn't know he was in there. When he got out, there was no way for him to leave. He was inside the prison already. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome. You really just put
Hello.
yourself right on in there, didn't you? Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
imagine his face.
Stupid, stupid.
There were some successful escapes, but they were few and far between. The original warden's wife accidentally shot herself and died in the private quarters. So she was reaching up to get something out of a closet, and her husband had stashed a little revolver up there, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. And so when she went to pull it out, it hit the floor and just shot her in the chest.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Um, Murder and suicides were common. One young man lit himself on fire and burned to death in his cell. Conditions were horrible, and there were numerous communicable disease outbreaks. Basically, any manner of violence or death that you can imagine has taken place there. It's not any wonder why it's one of the most haunted places in America. Uh, yeah, I mean, they literally that land is really set up for success as far as paranormal. I would say it's probably the 2nd or 3rd most haunted place I've ever been to as far as activity.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I definitely would say that.
See, I really didn't I just had the one thing happen and that was it. So, I don't know just based on my experience that I could label it that high, but, I mean, I've heard plenty of
Oh
stories.
my gosh, yeah. Well, you're gonna hear a few more today.
Oh.
Many felons believe that if you die in prison, your soul never leaves prison. The following tales may confirm that theory, particularly in the place inmates referred to as Dracula's Castle. It does kinda look like Dracula's Castle. I can see why they said
That's
that.
fair. Yeah.
The Haunted History of Ohio State Reformatory, written by Sherry Blake, is where I got the lion's share of this information today. It's full of information, actual historical and haunted, and amazing photos. All the photos that I sent you were from that book.
From okay.
Great photos, some of which you can find at our TikTok and IG. And here are a few of those hauntings. Jared Fisher was a tour guide at OSR starting in May 2009. I don't know if he's still there. Um, he and his parents have volunteered at OSR for years. His first night volunteering, he and his tour group heard loud footsteps at the far end of the east cell block. Of course, all flashlights turned in that direction of the sound, and there was no one there. Same night, down at the west cell block, the whole left side of Jared's body got so cold that it began to get numb. In the West Administration building, he saw a shadow figure run up the stairs. He and his group caught several EVPs, including profanity, whistling, and random voices. They also heard cell door slammings, which is strange because they can no longer move. So that's kind of crazy.
Well, I also wanna point out to anybody who's never been in a prison, footsteps in a prison are very loud.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that, like if you're hearing footsteps, you're hearing footsteps.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yes.
echoes.
Yeah.
So, the fact that they heard it and all of the flashlights turned in that direction, like yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. I love footsteps. Footsteps start getting me excited for it. Um,
Yeah.
most staff and volunteers at OSR have had experiences of varying degrees. Hot spots of activity are typically solitary confinement. That's where I had the biggest one. The showers, the warden's quarters, and the chapel. What might you see if you visit? Most reported are black masses, shadow people, white mist, full body apparitions, figures darting in and out of cells, and balls of light. Many visitors report feeling cold spots, feelings of being watched, fingers touching your skin or hair, and the occasional slap. It happened to my cousin.
Oh my god.
I wasn't with her. I don't know exactly how it happened, but she had a hand mark on her face. I mean, like, yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
god. And I do have pictures of the chapel, so I can post
Oh,
those as
do
well.
it. Yeah. That gosh,
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I don't have any
yeah.
of my
Like
pictures
that I
anymore.
took. So,
Yeah,
I
please
think
do.
I don't think I have that many pictures because I was trying to be in the moment, but I know that I have at least a picture of the chapel. So
Um, People have smelled cigarette smoke, sulfur, and rose water perfume, which was the warden's wife's favorite.
mhm.
Justin Fink and Joey Butler from Northeastern Ohio Paranormal Investigation Center twice visited in 2009. Their first visit to OSR was in August, and at that time they captured two EVPs in the warden's quarters. The first is a man saying, "You shouldn't be in here."
Oh,
That's exactly what it sounds like. And the second was in the warden's kitchen of a woman saying, "I'm here."
that's cute.
I
That's precious.
That's really cute.
I'm here.
Joey
It's
had his
me.
arm touched, and there was a strange incident with a pane of glass. On the landing coming down the stairs, was a window, and Joey walked past it, and it made a really loud clunk. Justin didn't see him touch it, but asked him just the same. Joey said no. Justin reached out to touch it, and it was a little loose in the frame, but this is heavy antique glass. There's no way walking past it caused enough breeze to move it. When Justin and Joey returned in November, they brought Justin's sister Allison. They got a few strange EMF readings in the bullpen. Later, they got some EVPs that they described as bizarre down in the Shawshank tunnels where Andy Dufresne made his escape. Um, and it was a wild laugh, like Joker from the first Batman laugh. Like it was crazy. Um, Later in the library, the group was looking at the weird metal box. There was just a weird metal box with a glass door on top. And Joey asked if they were allowed to keep pets, like he couldn't figure out what the box was for. And the EVP replied, "Boots."
Oh,
They made shoes there, so it must have been what they packed their boots in, I guess.
yeah.
Later, while still in the library, they discussed some books that they were looking at, and a gruff span voice said, "Shut up." That guy probably died from emphysema, though, because he sounded like a heavy smoker.
Oh my god.
Later in the East Block, they asked if anyone wanted us "Does anyone want us to leave?" And the clearest EVP they claim they've ever caught said, "Lights out."
Well, they said, "Bye." Yeah, since you asked.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it getting kinda late? Don't you miss your mommy? Um, there are literal hundreds of stories like these. OSR is one of those places that you'll have an experience every time you go. They have all kinds of tours, group, private, guided, self-guided, and overnight, and at many different price points. They also have a haunted house set up with a carnival-like atmosphere. What do they call it? Blood Prison, from Labor
Yes.
Day to mid-November. No matter how you choose to visit, you won't be disappointed. But I did hear somebody that is local, but I couldn't find it again, and then I also didn't write it down, but somebody made this point, and I thought it was such a good point. Um, you can visit 150 places. You know, you can ghost hunt at 150 places, and maybe you'll get something here and there. But if you do 150 place haunts at one place,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, and then you get to know. like we did at the chicken coop or whatever the name of that place
It
is.
hen house?
Yes.
You call it chicken coop every single time. Every single time.
Yeah,
I just pulled up my pictures from Ohio State Reformatory. I'm sending you a picture that I actually just came across. Um, but I do have I've got the chapel. I've got one of the rooms. I've got some pictures of the cell blocks. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've got some things that I can share on social media that
great.
I've taken as well.
Right on.
So, yeah, I find it interesting that you didn't talk about the basement. Did you read anything on the basement?
I did not, and I didn't hear
Okay.
any stories from the basement. Are you talking about solitary? Are you talking about solitary confinement?
I don't know, is that where solitary
Well, it
was?
seemed like it was the basement, and, I can definitely see why somebody would go down those stairs and think that they were in a basement, for sure.
The only reason I ask is because I've heard, I think it's on one of the shows too, but I've heard that something dark is in the basement. But I didn't get that was where we went back down to get our because when we went in, we had to give our license to them so they knew at the end of everything who was still in the building.
Mhm. That's really
So,
smart.
yeah, it is really smart. But okay, so little fun fact, because I don't think you touched on this either. They built the reformatory in a very specific way that made it very, very difficult for prisoners to find their way out of, from what they told us.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the way that they made, I guess, the hallways and stuff, it just like it made it very difficult that if prisoners were to escape, it made it more difficult for them to find their way out.
Hmm.
I couldn't find my way out.
Oh, I definitely couldn't either. I couldn't either.
I
No.
didn't know, like, you could have given me a map. By the end of it, because we had to go back in, and we had just found our way out, and we remembered our licenses, so we had to go back in to get our licenses, and when we were coming back out the second time, luckily, a security officer at that point, she's like, "I'm going out too if you guys wanna follow me," and I was like, "God, yes, please, yes," because I have no idea where I'm going. Um, I remember the bullpen because the bullpen is when you're where you start for the ghost stuff that they do. However, for anybody who goes, you cannot take pictures outside of the windows at the bullpen because they have that, I think it's a penitentiary behind it,
Oh, right.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's where they built Mansi, just it's nearly right next door. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess which I've never actually looked out the windows, but I guess you can look out the windows and see, like, other prisoners and stuff, but not other prisoners, but prisoners that are there.
Right.
Um, so the bullpen was crazy. The only experience I've had since we finally got to the hauntings was during that blood prison during Halloween, and I think I told you this. I think it was me and one of my best friends, and we were going through in solitary, what I believe is solitary. It's pitch black in that hallway.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, pitch black. You go down the
Mhm.
stairs, you can't see anything.
Mhm.
And I remember walking through, and we were, like, arm in arm with each other, and we both felt hands on our back. Like, it was like somebody put a hand on my back and a hand on her back and just kinda, like, gave us a tiny shove. It wasn't like, "Ooh," but it was, like, a little, like, "Move it along."
Yeah.
And we thought that it was our friends behind us. So when we got out of when it happened in the moment, we're like, "Don't touch us, why are you touching us?" And they were like, "We're not touching you." And so we made it to the part where you can see again, and they're like, "We didn't touch you." And we asked the worker who was standing right, like, when you come out, and he's like I asked him, I was like, "Is anybody in there?" And he's like, "No, we don't have anybody in there." So, I don't know, like, maybe they were just like, "Can you, like, move it
Yeah. Keep
along?"
it
Like
moving. Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
they like the haunting. I don't think they like the haunted house.
There's a lot of haunted locations that don't there's a lot of haunted locations that they don't like the way that it's presented, especially
Right.
during Halloween, which I get it.
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
It's fun for us. I
Yeah.
wouldn't care,
Well, I would
but
think it would be fun for them on the other side too, because what's more fun than scaring the shit out of people when
I
you're a
am
criminal?
scaring everybody. Have you seen those memes where it's like what you it's like, "I'm gonna be watching you when I die," but it's like the shadow thing, like, coming up the stairs, poking its head around. It's just like that dark shadow that everybody's absolutely petrified of.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely the Ohio State Reformatory is a place that people should see.
Yeah, I mean, even if there wasn't a haunting there, you should still go see it because it is so
Yeah,
cool.
it is,
If
and
you
it's
don't believe, you
historic.
should go see. Yeah, you still
Yeah,
should.
I mean, I went to Eastern State Penn, and I went during the day. Would I love to do a ghost tour or a ghost investigation, paranormal investigation? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it was still really it brought a different sense of appreciation for knowledge within the prison system.
Yeah.
Because Eastern State has a lot of statistics that they talk about. So it's very informative, and it's historic as hell.
Mhm.
So it's very cool, and it's you learn a lot. And just like any historic place, I mean, you can feel the energy there.
Oh, sure you can. Yeah.
I want you to go look at that picture.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, that's weird.
I know, so the problem is it's blurry, right? Like
Yeah, it definitely there's definitely some movement like of the camera.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I just snapped it or maybe I accidentally snapped it, but that little mist is weird.
Yeah, I saw mist there and it wasn't like I know people think that because it's out in the country and maybe it's fog or it's definitely it what I saw
You
was
can
not
tell.
moving.
Yeah.
What I saw was not moving like fog. It was sort of a blobby ball.
Yeah,
And I watched it go up the cell block and I'm like, no.
yeah,
No, that is definitely something. That is not fog.
yeah.
But and I saw a shadow person run across the bullpen, and I was the only one
Was
that
it
saw it, and we were all looking in that direction, so I was really shocked that nobody else saw it,
were the
and,
lights on at that point?
it was just dim, it was really dim in
Dim, okay.
there, which made me for a second, I thought it was a guy in a hoodie, and then as he started to
Yeah,
run, I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 that's" yeah. Um,
uh,
yeah, probably the scariest thing that happened to me, it was also in solitary, and as I was coming down the stairs there to my far right, I felt a voice inside my head
oh.
say, "Don't fucking look over here."
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
And I was like, "Okay, you're good."
You're like, "Word, word,
Word.
I got you."
Yeah, not me. You ain't gonna worry about me. Mm-mm.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
if you're that serious about it, I'm not. Nope. I'm not gonna challenge
Yeah,
you for sure.
fair.
You know shit I don't know.
Unless we're in Gettysburg and that guy's calling you a bitch.
Well, he was just a jerk. He was just being a jerk. He was used to scaring
I
people, and when he couldn't scare us,
yeah,
then he got mad.
yeah. Literally. That was a crazy oh my god. I listen, we talk about Gettysburg all the time. It's like one of those episodes that I'm so excited to do, but also I'm not because I wanna keep talking about it. And I feel like once we really, like, do the episode on it, it's gonna be like, maybe I need to chill on talking about Gettysburg for a couple months. Like, oh my god.
Well, that's another episode for another time. That's
Exactly.
all I have for you today on the OSR.
Ugh.
I love it, and I highly recommend
Yeah.
it to anybody who's interested in anything haunted. I also recommend it to people who are just like lovers of very gothic
Yes.
architecture because it's just so beautiful. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
It's a shame it's a
Yeah, it
prison,
is.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it is. I'm curious to go back and see if anything changed or different because I mean, paint's peeling off the walls when I was there, and there are some areas that were really rough.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I don't know, what they do or don't eventually do with prisons, or reformatories, prisons, insane asylums, like anything like that. So, yeah, I don't know, but I would be curious to see if it looks any different when I go back.
Yeah, same. I don't think I probably you were probably in diapers the last time I was there. It's been a long time, and it's not that far from
Really?
me right now. It's only
Yeah.
an hour away, I think, so
Well, I think we need to I would like to go as awful weather-wise as it would be. That's kind of, I guess, unfortunately the point. I think we should go again in the winter so that there's not so many people there.
agree. Yeah, agree. Yeah, we went in
I
the winter, and
mean,
I loved it. I mean, yeah, we were freezing our asses off, but,
yeah, when I went and it was in March and I went the last time I did, and it was just too many people. It was too much, and I just honestly, me and the person that I was with, we just felt like it was super disrespectful, to be honest.
yeah.
Like, people yelling and what like, this was the place of I mean, it's deep. It's deep history, so
Mhm.
it just felt very disrespectful, and I don't like that, so I would love to go back and not have so many people there.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how hard it is to just be respectful. Just remember that
Right.
these are people. These are people.
Yeah. I mean, people died here. This was some of their last moments.
Even if what you run across there isn't a person, if you believe that, it's an
Yeah.
entity or it's a whatever it is, why are you disrespecting it? You came there. They didn't come to your house. I mean, some
I
of them
would
come to my house, but not from there.
I'm curious to know if maybe there's any egregores there.
Yeah.
And for anybody who hasn't listened to our ghosts episode, it's a thought form. So, essentially, there has been research that shows that thought forms can be a thing. I would be interested to know if potentially even maybe that's what's in the basement is more of an egregore rather than an actual ghost.
Well, yeah, it was really interesting that night because that happened. I didn't say anything to anybody. There was a large group of us and we were exiting sort of one at a time. And as I was leaving, um, and coming through the door, I heard this person from another group say, there was something really scary in that corner, that right-hand corner when you come down the stairs, and I was like, "Oh, confirmation." And then like, it's not in my
Yeah.
head, and then when I came around the corner and everybody was smoking there in the grass, I was like, "Hey, you guys," and they were like, "Yeah, we were just talking about I think there's something over there in that, when you come down the stairs there on the right," and I was like, "Oh my god, okay, okay." We
It's
all experienced something.
it's so funny you say that because I know the exact corner that you're talking about. But I don't know if when I think about that, if I'm thinking of you telling me about it and I'm imagining it, or if
Oh,
it was something that I also experienced, just kind of like a, "Ooh, that's a little uncomfy."
yeah.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
no, yeah.
Because 'Cause I'm such a visual person, I would not put it past me to, like, imagine up what you're I mean, I've done it before with one of your past life experiences, so
That's true, you have.
yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know,
I
everybody
would
can't be wrong. I'm just saying.
Right,
Um,
right,
I mean, that's probably just where he goes when it starts getting crowded. He's like, I'm coming over here and they better leave me the hell alone."
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yep.
Lord. I think I did a school project on the Ohio State Reformatory.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm looking at this picture that I took down the cell block, and I'm like, I I think I did something for school with the reformatory.
Interesting.
Yeah, very creepy. I've got pictures that I'll post with yours as well. But with that, if anybody has any experiences or they wanna talk about the Ohio State Reformatory, questions,
Picks,
concerns,
EVPs. Yes.
literally
Yeah.
anything. If you wanted to share stories with us, pictures, EVPs, you will get full credit unless otherwise you didn't want to. If you didn't want to, that's fine. But yeah, anything you have, comments, questions, concerns, you can email us at thechamberofshadows@gmail.com. You can also follow us and find our videos and pictures on TikTok and Instagram at the Chamber of Shadows.
Yay. Please
Yay!
do. Please come visit us. Please send us stuff.
Yes,
We want to hear your stories. We want to see your pictures. Um,
100%.
yeah, yeah. Eventually, once we get some, we're going to start reading them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. We just need more stories. And I guess now could be a good time to add in the change that we're making,
Oh
and
yeah,
we can
yeah.
reiterate that next week as well at the beginning. We're making a difference. We're changing things up just a little bit. For future episodes, we are going to go down to 2 episodes a month. We're doing this because we want quality content, not quantity. So we want to make sure we are utilizing resources to our fullest capabilities and really getting accurate, relevant, reliable information to share.
And
And what am I forgetting?
and we'll have more guests and
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yes.
We'll
Yeah.
have more guests. We just really want to make sure that we're doing the most. Episodes
Yeah.
will probably be a little longer just to kinda make up for that as well, hopefully. I'm sure there will be some that'll be about the same, but hopefully with having the extra time in between, we can really dive into topics further and just get more.
If y'all have notes for us, meaning if you have any criticisms, anything, please be gentle. But yeah, we want to hear them because
Yeah, I mean, like,
we want to put on a
d
good show for you. So, um,
yeah, don't just be like, "You guys are awful, horrible people." That is not what we mean. Constructive criticism.
yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, if there's anything you would like us to do more of, if you wanna hear more on any topics we've already covered, I'm sure we'll loop back around at some point to some of the topics we've covered anyways at some point in time. So, with that being said, again, we'll reiterate that on the next episode, but join us next week for an episode that has to do with Ireland.
Dun dun
Mm.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Ah, the possibilities of what it could be are endless.
Ireland's having a really good year. Like they're having a really good like people from Ireland are hotter than they used to be. Like I just feel like they were always hot,
Yeah.
but people are noticing now. And there's a lot of people talking about Ireland now, and that was not a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, people need to calm down because that's gonna be my place. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure tourism for them is people shit on tourism a lot, but tourism can bring some very valuable things to an economy.
well,
So,
sure, yeah.
but with that, peace out, sayonara, adios. We will see y'all next
We see you
week.
next week. Bye.
Bye.